Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tea Time with Amy and Bev. We're back.
Good day. Yes,
Good
we are.
day.
It is a good day. Feels
Like
like a
it's the
good day.
love month. It's
It
February
is
1st,
nice. I've got people on,
2026
so
at the recording of this video.
nice. Nice.
All right, friend, let's dive in. What do you got? Let's go.
So before we even got on, I was like, had to send you a message because somehow time got away from me. And what my reasoning is when you're in the now, time really isn't a relevant thing. And then when I came on here and sat down, you were finishing up a phone call, and I thought there was never it was all divine all along. It just wasn't meeting up with the time frame that we had discussed. Is
Mhm.
all. It's to remind ourselves in those moments. Just take a breath and know that it's always on divine time. Always. If you can't make an appointment, there's a reason why you can't make that appointment. There's always a good reason. There really is, bigger than what we know.
I have a prime example with that. In the past, two videos, I believe, I talked about my mom being in the hospital and all the things. And I think, let's see, it was the week before she went to rehab. So they were saying that that following Monday, she would be going to rehab. And we're like, oh, okay, cool. Well, we had to drive 100 miles to go be with her. So in one direction in the hospital. And then when she was going to rehab, we had to drive um, 65 miles the opposite direction to go see her. So we didn't, she would actually have to pass through the town to go to rehab where we were staying, right? So we're like, well, we'll just wait until she gets transported and then we'll go. Well, and I called the hospital in the morning. They're like, no, they're not going to send her today. They don't have a bed. They're going to send her tomorrow. I was like, oh my gosh. So we went ahead and drove the hour and a half to go see her, the 100 miles. And as we were driving there in the opposite direction, so the direction she would have been traveling, traffic, there was an accident on the freeway and traffic was backed up in the opposite direction, backed up from an on ramp in another direction. And I was thinking in that moment, I'm like, there's a reason why she wasn't transported today. She would have been sick because it's like, it would have been like 2.5, 3 hour drive for her, a trip for her to go from the hospital to the rehab center. Who knows how long they would have sat in that transportation vehicle. And it's like an ambulance, but they transport. And it would have been horrible, especially in um, with her mental and emotional state as it was at that time. I'm like, I'm really glad she wasn't. So when we got to see her and she was feeling disappointment that she didn't get to leave the hospital that day, I explained to her. I said, "Mom, there's a reason why," and I told her, and she's like, "Oh, you know." So there was relief in her after that. So and she got transported the next day, which was great.
Yeah, probably was smooth.
So we never know. We never
No,
know.
because we don't know about divine timing. We don't know there might have been another person to even have an encounter with before she left the hospital. There's so many things. There's just so many things. Maybe someone needed to see that she had the support that was there. Who knows? Like
Right.
the opportunities are endless in those situations.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show you, and what a lot of people do is like we get into these moments of this anxiety or this feeling like because we're trying to push, and that's why we're getting all these feelings because we're trying to push to make something be what it's not supposed to be. It's just it's surrendering and being in the allowing phase, and it's like that's really what I've been learning a lot of lately. And it's not always easy. It's certainly not. It's most certainly not. No, it just
It most
isn't.
certainly is not. I agree with you. And then you're like, oh, I'm so glad I did.
Exactly. It's just like you knowing that, or the relief that your mom felt in that moment is the same relief that we can have in that moment too, and
Yep.
realize there's such a bigger picture without having to know why.
Right.
And
Because probably 90% of the time you're not going to know why things
yeah,
didn't go the way you wanted them to, like didn't meet your expectation and your timeline. Trust me, I lived this for years, getting upset and angry, sad and depressed because something didn't work out in my timeline, and then find out later. So now I'm given that the time and focus into those emotions and then swirling in it. And then a day, 2 days, a week later, find out I was glad it didn't happen the way I wanted it to.
Yeah.
But in that entire time, I sat in anger, sadness, depression, whatever heavy emotion it was at the time. And so I stressing out my own body over an incident that I didn't, first of all, didn't have any control over, but at the same time, found out later it was a blessing in disguise. And I was like, okay, there's more going on here in me than and I need to look at this and see how I can start remedying or easing up on trying to be, and this goes along with being a control freak, right? It's all about control. And we just don't have the control of things that we think we do or that we would think love to have.
So crazy. I've got so much stuff going on in my mind. If I could pick up one thing and go with it, because it's like everything that you said is so relevant in so many facets. All of it, us being patient and being in that time space, honestly taking the breath. It's this allowing that we're not familiar with, and we're not familiar with it because a lot of people have grown up with struggle. Why? Because we've seen our parents struggle, because that was the normal. So for us to feel normal, we're creating our own struggles to be in that familiar zone, not realizing that's one of the ways how we're holding ourselves back and not allowing ourselves to fully be in the moment, or to fully, well, celebrate, because celebrating to me is being in the moment, all the moments. And then it's our gauge. It's like I've said it a million times, but it's like it goes back to the gauge, letting us know as soon as we start feeling that anxiety or that trying to control things or getting pissed off because it's not happening the way we want to, which was a normal response back then because that's what we learned from someone else. That is such a child perspective. It is. And the emotionally evolved perspective is recognizing that every moment is divinely perfect. And it's just to be in that space and to be aware of it. Because the more that you're aware of it, the more that you get to experience more like that. It's so simple. It's so simple. Anyways,
It really is simple.
it really it's
It,
so simple that the female mind, and it's, you know what, even saying that almost makes me think that we've been made to believe that it has to be harder than it is.
yes, of course.
And females specifically, because men don't think the same way that we do. Mostly they just don't. We're usually on different perspectives. We're just like spinning things all the time, and they're probably fixing things, and
Mm-hmm.
but but we keep ourselves in that space that's familiar like that, because that for us is like that's where we're supposed to be. It's not where we're supposed to be, but
No.
we don't know without feeling all that stuff, and not feeling it like you were saying, like feeling it, because I've done that a million times too. It's like recycling it, making it bigger. It's just feeling it in that way. Oh, wait a second, I feel these emotions, and not having it attached to any person, place, or thing or situation.
Yes. And also, so when we think about that timing and control and things like that, it's and we had a huge event last night for a fundraiser. And you know, as I reflect on things like this because I had a big role in the event, and there were a couple of times as I reflect on it where in my history, in those days of control freak, um, I would have things that were asked of me. I would have been irate. Like it would have consumed me for the evening. I would have been just closed off, bitchy, just, whatever, bitch face, resting bitch face, whatever. Um, but one of the things that was asked of me, am I don't often, I very seldom do I ever wear heels anymore and shoes. And I had some on last night, and my feet were not feeling well. So I was like, I do not want to be walking all over this place anymore. Right? So somebody asked me to do something. I was across the room, and I was like, oh God, okay, I can make it. But I get over there, and as I'm standing there to talk to a person who I was sent to go talk to, another person came up to me and said, we have a mutual friend who highly suggested that I come talk to you. And I just stood there, and the person who I was talking to, I was just like, wow, this in me, I knew this was like a huge step for them, huge, like something completely out of their comfort zone. And he says, I don't even know what you do. But here's what's, it gives me a synopsis of what he's going through. And I'm like, and I just made it lighthearted. That's what I do. I want people to be, ease, feel some ease and some comfort in them when they're talking to me. And it's like, I just started laughing, and I said, I don't even know what I do. I just do it, and trying to ease that up. And he just looks at me. I'm like, he goes like, no, no, really, I don't know what you do. So, um, but it's in those moments like that I really am embracing more and more the everything happens for a reason. So even in my discomfort physically, I said yes. I was like, okay, I'll help out, and I went and did the thing. But that is happening more and more. The other day, sitting at my desk, just getting back from being gone for 3 weeks, um, have quite a bit of stuff work to do, right? And my boss, she says, oh, I got to walk down to the store. I'm going to get blah, blah, blah. You want to go with me? And in me, in my head said, no, I have a ton of work to do. But something pulled me and said, just out of my mouth, yeah, I'll go. And I ended up seeing two people and talking to them that one of them I hadn't seen in a while. And so we stood there for probably a good 10 minutes talking about their plans. And um, so it's just like, it's such a gentle nudge. And I'm leaning more into that. Now, back in the day when I was learning all about all this stuff, I had no idea what that meant. It's those gentle nudges, it's those subtle signs. And I'm just like, what does that mean? Um, but now it's like, because I'm practicing so much more presence, and again, not always good at it, so I am not perfect at this, and by no means, but I am better than I used to be. And that's my goal, and that's what I say all the time. I just try, my goal is to be better and better, right? As I do better in myself, I do better outside in the world. So the better I get at this, and listening to those nudges and those intuitive moments, the more I notice how I'm guided, and I'm not controlling it. And that, like you said when you started, it comes down to timing, divine timing. And there have been such beautiful moments because I've allowed the divine timing instead of my control freak thinking it's going to happen right now when I want it to.
Yep. And it makes the surrendering more noticeable when you're not doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to me, it's like, but like you said, it's doing better every day. I'm doing better every day. I might have a few moments here and there, but I'm doing better and better every day. And the
Mm-hmm.
moments don't last. They're not permanent. There's nothing that is permanent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everything's temporary, but the memory lasts.
Yeah.
So, I had a lot of memories of being angry and sad and depressed because things didn't go my way. Now I have many more memories of how well things went because I allowed it to unfold.
Yeah. Or weren't closing ourselves off. You were giving good descriptions earlier when you were talking about being like how you would normally have, well, how you would have acted in the past and had shut down, would have shut down and been like, like the way you described it was perfect. It was exactly how I felt. You put words to the feelings how I used to feel. And it's freeing But it's also nice to know that I wasn't the only one feeling those things, during that time frame. Because sometimes I feel like we can think that we're crazy with the thoughts that go through our head.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think we've been so very tuned into those around us telepathically because we were still telepathic then that we were picking up everything from the people that were around us, everything. And that's how we created this template that we're in right now. We created the struggle or the happiness or the pretending to be in joy or the actual being in joy, like all these things, these dynamics. And it's just us kind of taking a look and kind of like I that just helped me realize right there what's going on, that that's not what I want to feel. I wanted to feel the opposite of that. And if I didn't feel that, then I wouldn't even know how far of the opposite direction I wanted to go away from that feeling. So it's like all these things that we're experiencing it's all divine. It's all perfect timing. It all
Yeah.
is.
And trying to control things is very, very, very stressful.
It's futile.
Sucks. So yeah, so you can be in a ball of mess and stress if you think you're going to control how things unfold. Good luck with that. Bev and I have tried many, many millions of times. Doesn't work out so well. So the one thing we do have control over is ourselves. And when we recognize that, then we start to lean into changing our perspective about situations or experiences. And when you start doing that, then you notice how you're feeling when you're showing up, and that the only thing that you can control in any situation is yourself.
It's true.
So, and of course, we could just go on a whole nother conversation about, trying to control people. We've already talked about controlling time. We have talked about in past videos about the idea that we can control people. But when ultimately what it comes down to, the only thing you have control over is you. Nobody else, nothing else. If you have animals, just watch your animals. You have no control over them, with the exception of maybe commands that they've learned. But think about them when they were a puppy, or even when they're in their older phases where they're struggling. And yeah, you think you have control. You sorry,
Good luck with that.
sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, not sorry.
It's a never ending story
Yeah,
until you decide to step out of it. And as soon as you step out of it, you're like, oh my gosh, life could be this much easier. I didn't have to be doing all this time. Life could be that much easier. It's kind of crazy, but
yeah,
it's true.
yeah. So you can decide, how uncomfortable you want your life to continue to be, or how much you want to do self reflection and figure out ways to ease up in that controlling mindset. Um, I enjoyed the ease up. It's been great because nothing outside of me. Let me see. I got to word this in a way. When I eased up on thinking that I could control things, I realized that everything outside of me, first of all, has nothing to do with me and everything to do with me, not everybody else.
It's true.
So,
Because everything else is just a mirror image of what's going on in this area, this vessel.
yeah. And that's a whole nother conversation. So I just want you to the audience to just take that in. Everything outside of you has nothing to do with you and everything to do with you. So sit with that for a while, journal about it. Maybe just take it a piece at a time. How does everything outside of me pertain to me? And a key piece of that is self-awareness. And how does everything outside of me have nothing to do with me? Have fun with that.
I mean, gosh, because it doesn't. I mean, like even for me sitting here processing everything that you're saying, it doesn't have anything to do with you. On one point, it's not, they're not, nobody's doing things to you. It's like, what are you doing to yourself? What are you saying to yourself? How are you keeping yourself separate? Ask yourself how this habit or this pattern is serving you, because there's a lot of things that we're doing for a reason. And when we can get to the reason why, we're going to find out how nonsensical that reasoning is. But all of this is an opportunity.
Then everything you just said has everything to do with you.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. The guru would say, you are correct. Because no matter what, you're correct. It's your own perspective. It's your story.
yep. Yep. So, friends, I would say get a pen and paper and just start writing down what we just talked about. Journal about it. How does it have nothing to do with you? And how does it have everything to do with you? And it could actually be one scenario. If you're struggling in a relationship, how does it have nothing to do with you? How does it have everything to do with you? And keyword, you, not them, not what they're doing, right? Not how they're reacting, you. How are you perceiving this? How are you reacting? What are your emotions? What are your thought processes? What are the physical sensations? Like everything to do with you. And
I like
then
that.
when you find that um, you don't want to be like that, the person that you are being or have been being, if you don't want to do that anymore, if it feels uncomfortable, it feels too stressful, you recognize you're the control freak, whatever that might be, and you're just like, yeah, this doesn't feel good in my body. Right. Now, how does it have everything to do with you? What are you going to do with it to change it? Because that's all on you. All of it is on you. And it's not to create weight on you. It is to say that if I am not liking what I'm seeing, perceiving, or how I'm perceiving it, really, how I'm perceiving it, how I'm speaking to people, my body language, if you're uncomfortable with yourself, and the way you're going to know that is by having that self-awareness, by noticing those sensations in yourself. If you're not comfortable with it, then do you think everybody else is comfortable with it? And if I hope the answer is no. If the answer is no, then if you're not comfortable with it, what are you going to do to change it so you're comfortable? Has everything to do with you. And you're doing it for you. You're not doing it for them. But in retrospect, this is great. You are doing it for them when you're doing it for you. It's mind blowing when we take in all the pieces that to know that it's all about me. And that's not an ego statement, it's a true statement. It is all about me because it's about my energetic point of attraction. It's my manifesting. It's what I'm putting out that's coming back to me. It's all of that. Again, we could go through hours of this conversation, but recognizing the statement has nothing to do with you and has everything to do with you.
It's the best conversation ever. It is. I so understand it all. So it's so perfect. Yay.
Yay. Oh,
So
yay.
I would just tell anybody that's watching, like really stop and really take this in because it's pretty dang amazing, honestly. And it's so many different perspectives and it's all it all rings true for me. All of it. It just feels right.
And
And
I
then
know
you think about it, we come in as babies, right? And all the focus is on us. And it wasn't for us to perceive it like, now you got to do this, and now I need to have someone doing this and someone doing this. It was to be in this space. It was to be in that space, feeling all these things, recognizing these things, but not from a lack space, not from any type of lack or need or want.
yeah. Yep. And when I'm speaking, when I'm teaching or having conversations like with Bev or anything like in this space that we're in, um, I listen to what I say. And I will know in my body, I will know that the difference of am I teaching because of my experience and I'm excited to share things like this, or am I saying that because I'm in a space of my life where I needed to hear it, but in order for me to hear it, I had to say it. And so when I said it, I heard it. And so these conversations always are so beneficial um, in how organically they show up. And that's what Bev and I do. We have organic conversations. We don't plan our conversations. We show up. That's like at the beginning of every single video. It's like, okay, well, what's going on? Because we don't know, but in retrospect, we're almost living parallel lives, and we hardly ever talk to each other in between recordings. So it's just it's the beauty of us showing up. We could very easily have these conversations over the phone a couple times, every other week or so, just checking in. But years ago, in 2020, we decided to do this because we were having such great conversations. I was like, yeah, we need to be recording these and sharing these with people. So that's what we did. And we have been doing this going into our 6th year. Well, ending up with our 6th year, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, um, so people are out there having these conversations, seeking guidance and all that. And so be resourceful, share the content, have the conversations, share the links, whether it's us or any other teachers or influencers that are resonating with you, even books. But you can find us in many platforms. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Spreaker, Spotify, Podcast Addict, and YouTube. So be resourceful. Help a friend.
Help a friend.
All right, friends. Thank you for hanging out with us. Tea Time with Amy and Bev, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.